Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammed Ismail Iliad. I'm from Saudi Solutions, Italy authorized partner for Saudi Arabia. In this short video, I'm going to demonstrate how we can manage the VAT for Saudi Arabia in the Tally ERP9. First of all, you have to make sure your release is up to date. If you see on the left panel of the bottom part of Tally, it's written Series A Release 6.3.1. From 6.3 onwards, Tally has implemented the VAT for Saudi Arabia. In order to update to the latest version, you have to make sure your TSS expiry is valid for 1st of January 2018 or 31st of January 2018 should be valid. If not, you have to renew your license and update to the latest release. Here I'm going to demonstrate creating a new company in Tally. Let us call it Saudi Trading Company. The country selection should be Saudi Arabia, because based on the country selection, Tally has predefined the VAT rules for that particular country. If it is UAE, it has to be UAE. If it is Saudi Arabia, it has to be Saudi Arabia. And the financial year, the VAT start is from 1/1/2018. Make sure this is for someone who is creating a new company. As for the existing users, I'm going to explain it once I've created the company. TIN number is a tax identification number provided by the GAZT, General Authority of Zakat and Taxation. It's a 15-digit number. Type it here. Now you have the periodicity for your return filings. It can be monthly based on your turnover. If your yearly turnover is above 5 million, it has to be monthly. Otherwise, it can be quarterly. These are the basic currency information which is predefined based on the Saudi Arabian country selection. We are on the gate of Tally. Those who are already existing Tally users, they can do the same thing by clicking the F11 features, go to statutory and taxation and input their TIN number and VAT details. If you look at, they are predefined, except if they are exempt, they can say it's exempt if it's a medical company or something. So most of the companies, it will be taxable, it's 5%. Also in the same page, you can click on configure and say show additional details, yes. Show mailing details in local language, yes. This is for you in order to type your Arabic name. So Sharikat So I just typed the Arabic name of that Saudi trading company, Sharika Saudi Tijariya, Jeddah, and saved it. So let us come back to what you have to do basically in order to get the VAT. First step you have to do is go to accounting for ledgers, create a ledger named VAT, value added tax. If you want to give the Arabic name, it can be provided. If you are not seeing this language alias, click on F12 and see if your second option is put to yes. It's called, you can say, Al-Dariba. This has to be under duties and taxes. And type of duty has to be VAT. Make sure it's not others, it's VAT. And save it. And rest of the things, you create your normal ledgers for sales. I'm not inputting the Arabic right now, just straight away going to the English. So your sales is by default, if you see, it's taxable 5% for the goods. Similarly, we need a ledger for purchases. Under purchase, so again taxable. You can create a customer with the local. The customer is under sundry debtors or account receivables. Here if you see, we can again input his local language details. Amala. I just type the Amala Jeddah Mahalli. He's from Jeddah. Contact person Mr. Mahmoud. Phone number you can put. Mobile number. Fax number, whatever the details. Email info@customer.com. Website. These are normal regular things, so I'm just focusing on the VAT things. So the TIN number is the tax identification number for the customer. This can be the 15-digit number of that customer, and again you can select regular or unregistered based on the customers. If he is registered with the GAZT, he will have a TIN number. Similarly, I'm clearing a supplier with the local. Sundry creditors. I'm not inputting any of the details, just straight away going to the VAT section. Yeah, that's enough. Also, let me create a supplier Jeddah unregistered. Maybe we are buying from an unregistered customers, then you have to choose unregistered. Also, if you have a customer in Dubai, you have to say he's a sundry debtors. You have to choose UAE in Dubai. In Dubai, it's TRN, tax registration number, so it's again 15 digits. You can type it here. So I'm ready with the masters for the accounts. Also, I'll create some items. By default, if you have already items, if you look at it, it will be 5% by default, unless you want to, you have some exempt or some other thing, you have to change it. Otherwise, it is 5% as a by default. So let me create an item. This is called computer computer keyboard. It's in pieces. If you see here, you have the option of choosing taxable, exempt or zero rated. If any product is exempt by the rule of VAT in Saudi Arabia, then you can choose the exempt. For example, certain medical items are exempt, so I will also be creating one of them. It's like, say, medical item. It's in pieces, then you can say exempt. Now let us come do some transactions and see what Tally can do for you. Let me purchase from a local supplier, local Jeddah, local. Okay. Computer keyboard, one piece, 400 riyals, and also medical items, one piece for 200 riyals. After finishing the item, just type VAT, and there is a way, if you want, you can predefine them in the sales voucher type that I'm going to show you after saving this. See, the 5 riyal is calculated only on the VATable items. If you want to set that tax analysis, it's here. Click on it, and you can see only for the computer keyboard it has been calculated 5%. Medical item is exempt. Save it. I just purchase it. I'm going to make a sales. Before that, I told you if you want, you can predefine. Go to the accounting watch info, voucher types, alter the sales. Here you can allocate your default accounts for sales. It's a sales, and for the tax it's a VAT ledger, so that each time you don't have to type it. Also you can define your title. It has to be VAT invoice or tax invoice, and for Arabic it has to be Fatura Baribia. If you have a bank, you can define it here, or from the alteration screen after the print also is possible. Then you have you have a place for declaration of in English as well in Arabic. Here you can type your whatever is the Arabic declaration. You can type it here, save it. Let me come back to the sales, the accounting vouchers, sales. If you see here, the VAT ledger is predefined here. I'm selling a customer, which is the local customer. His TIN number is already here. You have the option to type it here also, the TIN number. Sales. I have computer keyboard 1 pieces, so I'm selling 1 piece for 150 riyals. And also the medical item for 1 piece for 150 riyals. If you look at here, 7.50, the tax has been calculated only for the computer keyboard, and the medical item is exempt here. After saving, you can tally takes you to the print. Here if you press your backspace, it has now got the bilingual invoice format. It looks something like this. If you want to customize anything here, you can, after you see the print screen out, yes, or a confirmation page. On right side there is a configure. Click on it. There are certain information you have. It's asking what are the input, like customer signature, salesman, mailing details, whatever the things you want, you can put it here. Again, it has got advanced features, configurations, narrations. Now if you see here, Saudi trading company, the T number, and on opposite side is the Sharika. Now if you want to define a logo in the middle, that's also possible. So let me get a logo from my website. Logo, let us say this is logo. Just save it. Now it has to be a JPEG file. Let me say this is okay for me. Save image as this logo. So I'm just copying the path here. In Tally, you have the option to input the logo. Click on features, accounting features. Here's the logo path. Control Alt V is a paste in Tally. If you see the same invoice, if I'm printing, you can see the logo over there. This is the format you have readily available now in Tally. Now some people want to invoice has to be, they want to print on their letterhead. So for this, again, they can go to the same place, F12, in the advanced configuration. They have the option of setting up the height. maybe the paper height is 11, 7.5. They want to leave on from top some space. No, let it be 9.75 because I want to leave some space at bottom as well. So 1.25. Take a scale and measure it. So if you look at here, it is reduce the height and from bottom also spacing, leaving a space. But I don't want that much of the space. It should be 10 at least. I think that will look, yeah. So if you look at, there is enough space is there on top and also on bottom. But if you are printing on letterhead, tally, you don't need it repeated again, the logo and all these things. So what you can do is, in the print page you have the titling where you can switch it off, the company details. So tally will print something down. Again, you can remove the logo and then it will be just the VAT invoice. So these things can be managed from the F12 itself. Rest, if you want, if you have your own invoice format and you want to design to that format, it has to be customized, and Tally is fully customizable software. Now let us see the report of how much the VAT has been calculated in Tally. Then for this you can go to display, strategy reports, VAT returns. So this is exactly the report which the authority wants from you. After 4 months, you will have enough calculations here of how much sales you have made, your output tax, as well as your input tax. Tally manages everything clearly. If suppose if you are selling to a customer in Dubai and exporting, you will see the line intra GCC sales. So all you have to define is the country and just do your normal sales, and Tally will take rest of the things. Tally even notifies, if you make by mistake some entries. Suppose let me make a purchase. There is something, one more thing you have to understand. Say this is, suppose if you're buying from a supplier with the unregistered who doesn't have a VAT number. If you see, there is no calculation of VAT for him because he has no VAT number, because even if you pay him the VAT, he cannot pay to the government. So it's written in the blue note as amount of tax subject to reverse charge. There is a reverse charge mechanism which has to be, which is journal passing entry pass, which has to be, we have to adjust the liability to the government. Similarly, if you are selling something to a customer in Dubai, the VAT is not calculated, and the reason is all intra GCC supply. They are exempt from VAT. This is the so far the reports, and Tally says there is a GCC supplies, and there is a domestic taxable purchase unregistered, which can be, there is a separate report for reverse charge reports, which I will make another video in details how we can pass this entry, because this has to do with some accounting concepts. Rest of the things can be done by anybody, and this also you have to understand some is done through JV. So I'll make another video for this. And there are certain things which Tally will take care. For example, you purchase something with a supplier Jeddah local, computer keyboard 1 piece, medical item 1 piece, and you forgot to mention the VAT. Tally will notify, is a warning tax amount does not match the value as per the tax. Again, if you ignore it and save it, you can come back and do it, or even if you ignore it, Tally will give you a separate report on this. Similarly, in the sales also, if I'm making a sales 1 piece, suppose I just made by mistake 5 riyals, again Tally will notify. If I save it, Again, our tax report, go to display, the reports, VAT, VAT return. Here you can see it says incomplete mismatch in information to be resolved. Here there are two ledgers, there is a mistake in this. So you only have to click on it. It says 5 reals, there is a difference. You can adjust from here itself. Similarly, there is another amount for 2.50. No, it's 5 real. No, it's 7.50. I'm sorry. Yeah, because we already made, as per the transaction 5, we adjusted it. Now its difference is 0. If you go and see the sales invoice, Tally has already corrected. Since I just made it 5, it was 5 while passing the voucher entry. Now it is adjusted to 7.5. Similarly, if you look at the purchase register, it shows the 5 reals here is added from there. So after 4 months, or when your time is ready, you have to submit the returns. So the amount you have to pay to the government is your output tax, VAT minus the input, which you have already paid to the supplier during the purchase. Here the 5 real you can pay from here itself, clicking on, see, it's for the 3 months. Use your bank or whatever the account, you'll be paying through Sadat or some kind of sale, but the entry can be passed very easily in Tally. Once you save it, Tally says balance VAT payable is 0. I think this is so far give you an understanding of how easily Tally can manage your VAT in your business. So my next video will have some more details on these things. Whoever have any doubt or something can put their questions in the comment section here itself in the video, or can email me at info@saudisolution.com, so I'll reply it. So wishing all the best. Assalamu alaikum.